My name is Danny Walker, and my husband, Jack Walker, on the line. We live in Northeast Oregon in a very rural area in a small town that has no stoplights. And I'm just going to share a little bit of my story and how I ended up here and how I ended up partnering with Madison and Sean STARR with the new food company. Jack and I have been in and out of network marketing for about 20 years now, and we both wholeheartedly believe in the ability and the dream of passive residual income. That's what initially made us fall in love with the industry. We've had our ups and downs and roller coasters, which I think anybody who has been in the industry for very long can relate. And 2004, my husband was diagnosed with a serious autoimmune disease. It's very rare. It has no cause, no known cure. And he did 3 years of medical treatment, and after that he refused any further medical treatment, and we sought after natural and alternative holistic healing. And in 2009, I was working very hard on my family restaurant, and we had kind of came to the realization that it was time for us to close out the tree care business because his health wouldn't allow him to go out and do that physical work any longer. So we had lost our business. We had our restaurant, working really hard. A friend dropped off a product and said, hey, maybe this will help Jack. I brought it home, and he said, well, it's just food. It can't hurt. It was a liquid antioxidant supplement with all kinds of wonderful ingredients in it, like we find in the network marketing industry so often. And he started taking it, and it worked. Couldn't help but share because of what it did to transform Jack's health. And so initially he really built the business, and he built the foundation of the business for about a year. And then I decided, I don't really want to be married to this restaurant anymore. We started a business with the idea of like, okay, let's have a little more freedom, a little more finances, be able to make our own schedule. But that's not how the restaurant business worked out for me anyway. So I live in a small town, 2,000 people, and I thought I'd really like to build a passive residual income, something that I can hopefully one day walk away from and keep earning the same amount, if not more. So I started blogging and writing about natural and holistic healing, and that ended up being something that helped Jack and I become top leaders, top recruiters, and awarded the International Distributor of the Year award in 2012 with that company. But by 2013, I resigned, and it was not an easy decision. Believe me, it was years in the making, because it's really hard to give up your full-time income and something that you've put your heart, full, blood, sweat, and tears into, send a letter and say, I'm done, and walk away. But we did that, and it ended up being the best decision I ever made, even though it was probably one of the more difficult decisions. But it led us to where we're at today, and we've learned a lot from it. I've not built a network marketing company as a leader and really launched a team in the last year and a half, but I've stayed very close to the industry, and we've flown here, there, and everywhere to look at companies, and just haven't really found the right fit for us. 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine said, hey, have you heard about this new food company? He sent me emails from Madison, and after reading those emails, I was intrigued and inspired. This would be somebody I'd want to partner with. This would be the kind of person who I can tell has the commitment to her team, the commitment to the company. She's not out there going to say, build 5 different companies together. She's committed to a team of people, and she's got the passion, and she's got the energy, and you guys are going to get to hear that here in a second. And then not only that, but she got me on the phone with the COO and some of the corporate team of the new food company, which then I just realized this is the person who's willing to go to bat for her team and make things happen. And so that is Madison STARR, team leader. It was on purpose that she was chosen to become one of the founding members. And so I just want to introduce you, Madison, and say thanks for your passion and your diligence.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me to be here. And I know this team is really lucky to have Danny to work with. Really are opening up the beginning of a huge possibility for yourself just being here. So I'll get right to the point. I'm over here in Farmington, New Mexico, and really excited to be here for a number of reasons. Number one, I'm here with Sean, and he's here on the line with us, and so he'll be sharing with you as well. But Sean and I are engaged. We've been together now almost 3 years, and we have a 10-year-old, Haley. I'm new to this area, Farmington, New Mexico, but I'm from California. My background is quickly that I've been involved in the networking industry in and out, kind of like Danny, since 95. And I really had my first breakthrough, moving past $1,200 a month in 2000 with Mark Darnell and a company where I started with a borrowed $50 and worked for the first 60 days till I lost my voice and went to the top of the comp plan with that company, and have since, I've never will ever forget my roots. I know that a lot of people, they'll come into an opportunity and that they have to do it with borrowed funds, and that's just where they are. I have no judgment on that. I believe my philosophy has always been where there's a will, there's a way. I love it when all options for, entering a company are presented. I love it that this company is going to have a low point, starting point, where people can come in at just the minimal and buy some food and get started building. And I'm here to work with everyone, so I just want you to know it's all about your work ethic. Real quick, I've worked this industry and I've been to the top of 4 companies, so I've worked really hard to do that over the years. It hasn't always been easy. Most of the time it's been train wreck where something changes and then I'm left starting over again. And, what happens with that is that you look more firmly and you get to know the corporate team, and you have a lot more due diligence that you do before you get started. And what I can tell you here, when I had a call about this company, it was the first week of August. The call was very significant because of the relationship I had with the person who referred me. And he's part of the corporate management team for developing Asia. As far as networkers in this industry, he's one of the top 5 that I've met as far as his intelligence and who he's been in the industry. He helped Nu Skin open in Japan. He's been a top leader with them for over 25 years. Internally, this corporate team, when you start looking, doing your due diligence, who's here, starting with the person at the top, that would be Peter Castleman. He's the chair. He's the gentleman behind this concept and this company. You'll just see, Googling him, Castleman, just like it sounds, that he's got an extremely successful background. He went to Duke University. He graduated at the top of his class. He was an economics professor at Harvard. He's taken over 14 countries into single-digit billion and double-digit billions at the helm of an equity management company. Companies like North Face clothing, he bought them when they were almost bankrupt and took them to over $3 billion. He has had direct experience with networking companies. He started the company called Pharmanex that Nu Skin bought when he grew it to $50 million, which was small in his fold, but a year, and then they took it in networking to over $3 billion, and then went on later to purchase Herbalife 4 years after Mark Hughes passed away. At the time, the company was growing at over they were $700 million a year, and he helped take them over $3 billion in a 5-year period. So he was the chair of the board there, running Herbalife. And after that experience, he decided, now he's 58 years old, that he really wanted to create his own company, not fixing a culture, but creating a culture and really creating the mission of the company from scratch. And this is his company. And where he's positioning himself and where we're all having this opportunity to participate is in bringing a higher quality food product line to the marketplace. And, the situation is that we know that that the general health of the masses, there's a health crisis going on. And in that, looking at that, he could see that there's so many paths people are taking, and we know it. There's a new diet book every week, gluten-free, vegan, paleo. All of it is challenging to keep up with, but the bottom line is that food is really supposed to be giving us our nutrients. And so he drew the baseline that there are 43 essential nutrients that our bodies need on a daily basis. They call them essential because your body needs to get them through the food you eat. Your body doesn't make them. And they've been known about scientifically. There's micronutrients, macronutrients in that. There's aminos, omega-3s. He put a science board together. And we have people from Harvard, UC Davis. We have Chip Marsland. When you look into his background, he's our primary biochemical engineer. He designed all the food for the Zone diet for Barry Sears, very well known in the industry of food because of his significant contributions on a lot of levels, manufacturing. This food, there's 2 patents in the processing of it, and the unique aspect of it is that every serving has 50% of the 43 essential nutrients that you and I need on a daily basis. So if you were to eat 2 servings of their food, it's not a diet, but if you were to eat 2 servings, you would know that you'd you've eaten 100% of your 43 essential nutrients for the day. And that's significant. And I'm just going to give you some ideas. They have over 100 foods developed. They're refining the taste profiles on some of them at this time, so they're not all complete. But they'll be doing food for the Asian markets, for Korea, for Japan, for the Spanish market, from Mexico, when we open Mexico this upcoming year. And our product line will continue to grow, but it's common foods, the food that most everyone is eating. So foods like apple oatmeal, breakfast rice, Alfredo sauce, marinara sauce. There's even a coffee and a tea. There's macaroni and cheese. So if you'll imagine that every serving, even the Alfredo sauce, okay, but every serving, the apple oatmeal, that's mostly a carbohydrate. Here you're going to have 26 grams of protein in every serving. And the unique aspect of the food is that it's made from all whole foods, non-GMO. It all has a 3-year shelf life, which is important for a lot of reasons. It's all easy to prepare. It's just add water. This is a special dehydration process, again, that they're going to let us know about at the pre-launch. And they're also going to really encourage everyone to be creative with it. You can have it that way, just in its simple form. It's delicious. 26 grams of protein is huge. When it comes to a bowl of oatmeal, that's incredible. It also has 1.5 grams of omega-3s. And the point of the food also is that it's very filling. There'll be a lot of video on our website about the importance of the 43 essential nutrients and what those do for your health. It's a baseline that we all are mostly getting a percentage of a percentage. We're not getting nearly the 43 essential nutrients in our diet. It's going to make a significant difference for people's health in a big way. What I can tell you is that when I had the call about this, Thomas McLemore, he's the primary consultant to the company, he said, Madison, your name was given as 2 names from the corporate team. We're looking to just get this leaking out into the industry. We're looking for people that doesn't matter that, haven't made super big money or anything like that. We're looking for just ethical, strong people and that will share this even at this early time. And he said, I don't have a website for you. I don't have a name yet for you. Our comp plan is still being confirmed. I can tell you general ideas about it. But what we have is 4.5 years with millions spent on developing this food line, and this is what this food line is about. I couldn't really get into making a difference when it comes to food. It's talking about really directly helping people, and that I've worked mostly with supplements. Food is really essential, and that it's got a 3-year shelf life. That's a hot button for me, for people knowing that they have something significant in their home. So, Danny, I could go on and on about why I'm here, but I can tell you, first off, just the food, the product that we're bringing to market is important. And then Peter Castleman, again, who he's been and where he wants to go with this company. When we did get told we were going to fly in, Sean and I, and be a part of this core team of 25 and be with the corporate team and get to know them, that was significant for me in bringing my belief level up even higher, because Peter shared his story and he shared the projection. This is a $4.5 trillion industry, the food industry. Supplement industry is an $18 billion industry. He said our competition isn't any of the sub or network marketing companies. Our competition really is the food industry. It's Procter & Gamble and Nestle, and we're bringing a higher quality choice. And our projections are that we'll be a $20 billion to $200 billion company in 3 years. That's what they're building for. That's what they're asking us to join and promote and be a part of. It's going to be a significant, life-changing business for us, those of us who get up and get involved and start sharing this now and just be a part of building it. Now, Sean, I can tell you, Sean's real interest, because he's been extremely successful in this industry as well, and especially in the international markets, was to confirm that the company knew exactly how to open Asia, to open Korea, to open Japan. So I'm going to let you share, Sean, a little bit with everyone what you saw and what that conversation was like and why we're here and what we see for everyone, again, on the bigger level of international growth, if you wouldn't mind.
I would, and thank you, Madison, for that. And again, thank everybody for coming to the call tonight. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm sitting here just reliving every moment that Madison said. And the last thing that I wanted to do is actually get back into network marketing. I actually walked away from the industry in 2007. I've been the top of 4 companies. My biggest growth that I've done is actually in Taiwan, Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan. some growth Singapore, Vietnam, and groups extend back into Canada as far as my Asia groups go. Because of some of the stuff that goes on in network marketing, I walked away from the industry, and I own rentals here in Farmington. I own a company called Pure Capital Inc., and I do receivables funding, and I took my funds that I made in the past, just turned it into rental income. So even though I'm not with those companies, they still pay me very well every month. They just don't know it. So I'm very thankful for taking that money and investing it. And so I do know what the growth of the right company can be. And so for me, I wanted to interject before I talk about my stories. Having a business where you could actually walk away, and there's only one type of business you can do that in, and that's really, unless you have just a lot of money, you can walk away from management that are taking care of your personal investments, or in a network marketing company. But if you do that, you really need to saddle up with the management and a product that's reusable, that gets replenished every month, that people use. And one thing I do know about food is this is a business that we can walk away from after we build it, and have people still buy it month in and month out because it's food. Because no matter what we're doing in life or what other businesses we do or whatever our dreams are, we're still going to need to eat, and we need to eat healthy, especially nowadays with what's going on in our healthcare. So when Madison first asked me about this company, I said, uh-oh. And I said, okay, so let me just talk to these guys, because the first words out of Madison's mouth is, well, they're opening Asia. Of course, that always piques my ears up when somebody says that, but the problem with most companies is they don't want to go in and open the countries right, and that means a lot of work for a short-term amount of work, and then they leave the country, and then your check goes away. And the problem that I have is I'm so committed to my downlines and the people that I work with in Asia. They've been lifelong friends. If I don't call them enough, even to this day, they get mad because they treat me like their brothers and sisters. When you've really built a strong relationship with the people that you do business with, that's what ends up happening, and that's what happened for me. The biggest problem that you have in Asia, though, is most people don't realize that in Asia, 43% of the population do network marketing for an everyday living. In the U.S., most population does it so they can get an extra car payment or pay the house payment and maybe get real fortunate enough to make a lot of money and get some of their dreams. But for lots of people, because of the design of the network marketing company, or they're short-lived, or they come in and bring in somebody that's a consultant, and things change, whether it's a comp plan or the products or any slew of reasons we could get to on the call, it's just made it difficult where I wanted to be involved. When I talked to Thomas, that Madison had me on the phone with the very next day, it took me about 10 minutes of visiting with Thomas, and I said, oh my God, okay, I didn't realize it was going to be in another company, and definitely not a food company. But two things moved me. One, they were spending the money, they had the management, and they had a concept, and they were delivering it, and they know exactly what to do and how to do it. Just like Madison said, with 4.5 years of research, patents, and millions of dollars to do the business correctly, that was the first one. The second one truly was, Madison is so incredibly intelligent about food, and I'm so fortunate to have her in my life, because I can assure you I'll live 20 or 30 years longer, just because I'm the kind of guy that used to go to the gym 2, sometimes 3 times a day, drink the right shakes. But the one thing I was never doing was internally eating correctly. And when I got with Madison 3 years ago, I found out I needed to start eating much better too. So not only do I look good on the outside, but then I could look good on the inside. And I got to tell you what, my health has changed. So when I get somebody like Madison, that her eyes light up and I can see her passion, because I've known her since 2002, light up like I've never seen to go help her teams. Guys, I'm telling you something. Madison's been the top of 4 companies, and I've watched her take checks and build them over $25,000 a month in the first 30 days. So we're not talking about somebody that got an accidental win once. We got somebody that took different teams, different companies, and went to the very top. So she's one of the few that I do know that absolutely, when they say they can build a business, absolutely know what they can do. And I've been very fortunate to have the same exact type of experience. The only difference I did is I focused it in my foreign markets, because frankly, I like watching my check grow 10 and 20 grand more than it did the month before, and I really enjoy getting on the ground and being there with the people. And one of the philosophies that's always made me the most money, I still get paid from one of my companies that I've been in for the last well over 12 years. So I understand the idea about residual income. And I actually haven't touched that company as far as work outside of buying products since 2007. So I do understand long-term residual income, and I understand how to build a team and understand what's going on. But, let's go back and re-look at everything we have here. We have food. We have everybody trying to deal with food sources, whether they're going all non-GMO or they're trying to deal with organic or they're trying to deal with supplements. And everybody's trying to do the right thing. And we have another problem. We got most of the people in the whole world, the bulk of the people, they don't know that they're eating bad or poor foods. They just go do what they know to go do. And then the ones that are smart and they are trying to eat properly, they're only getting a piece of the pie. So when you told me that you can get 43 of your essential nutrients in every serving and people's health would change simply because they're not starving themselves to death, I was absolutely interested in what that company had to offer, frankly, because I want to live even longer. Okay? There's no sense in having any money if you don't get to enjoy it. And so I'm definitely excited about that. But, this is going to be the last company I build. I am very fortunate to have what we have here in New Mexico. I really love some of my tenants in my rental business. I've had people that have lived with me for 9 and 10 years. I really love what I do and to help people in general. But when I know I can take a business model on a company that has a foundation that puts distributors first, and it's well funded on something that every single person I know needs, and it's not, lotions or potions or shampoos or oils or whatever it might be. And I'm not putting companies down. But, those things go away with the next big problem America and the world has. And that's that nobody has any money, and we're all fighting paycheck to paycheck, or we get ahead this month or that month, and then life takes place. And we all seem like we're always under the gun here, and then we're not there. And you realize that that's what life is. But then you realize a spark comes in your life, like this little project came to ours, and we realize, wow, we're going to be able to help a lot of people. We're literally going to change lives, and we're going to watch their health change. And I have to tell you guys some funny stories. Madison's made some of the foods at home because we got to bring some home with us. The food is delicious. And the last time I wanted to lick a plate, not to be crass, is when I took Madison to somebody like Emerald Laglossy's restaurant because it was so good. One of the things I've learned with great health products or shakes or whatever is they don't always taste good. This company's addressed that. They've taken everyday normal foods, they've infused them with all of these nutritious essential items that we need, and then they took it to a slew or a stable of chefs so that they produced a food that tastes the very best it could taste, and then they manufacture from that point. So guys, what we have is an incredible food. We got a well-funded company. We got a management team with 160 years of experience, and when I found out for myself that they actually understood how to open up Asia, then I absolutely knew that we had a company that I had to just stop, put the brakes on a few other things I was doing, and focus on this for the next year. So I'm going to close in this one thing. We're going to take, and our goal is to take, because of what this company is doing, we want to take our first top 100 people and make $1 million a month income earners out of them, which means we're going to work our butts off to whatever level that you guys decide if you want to come up to the team. We're going to work very diligently, very hard, very strategically, very smart to make sure that your goals get met. Because one of the things we do in one of our other companies and that we have right now, we actually have income earners in another one of our companies that makes actually over $100,000 a month more than we do. So Madison's always built, and I've always built with the philosophy that if you want a long-term residual income, make sure your downline makes more than we do. So that's how we build our business. It's not about what's in it for us. It is about what's in it for you because we know we get ours because of that. So, and I do thank you for taking your time to listen to us tonight. Madison and I, it's a privilege for us to be here, and thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. I know we don't have a finalized comp plan, but could you address a few of the things you really liked about the comp therapy?
I would love to tell you. Now, all this is not in stone because we don't have it in writing, but I can tell you guys the stuff that we have talked about that really blew my mind. So one of the things is it only takes 3 people to max the comp plan. That's awesome. One of the other things that I really enjoyed about it is it's a 7 or 9 level unilevel with dynamic compression, which is also really good. But here's a couple of things that really, really just made me stand up. And the first one was there's a low entry point of $25 or $35 to sign up, and you can buy whatever food you want. So that means the normal everyday person can actually get started with low cost. There'll be a couple packages, for example, if you're a network marketer or a business builder, there'll be a $300 or $600 package that you can get. There will be fast start bonuses that you can receive. 50% of your paycheck will be coming from global bonus pools from all countries. And whatever level, there's 3 levels of the company that you can achieve, 1, 2, or 3. Whatever level you'll achieve is how much you're going to be able to participate in that. But guys, that's still not even the biggest thing that really turned me on besides the low entry point. One of the things that really turned me on that's an industry first was the fact that they're doing no PVs or CVs, which means if I'm buying $100 worth of groceries, you're going to get paid a commission based off $100 of my groceries. It's not I bought $40 and it cost me $70 to buy it, and I got to take the normal mom that's never done network marketing and explain to her why she paid $30 more. We're talking about being able to do a comparison from your local grocery store and still be able to spend the money and see it on a one-to-one basis. Guys, that's never been done. I've been doing this since 1988, which is 26 years, and I don't know of a single company that's ever done one-to-one. So I was really glad to hear about that. One last thing that was really intriguing to me is we've been in these companies where you get matching bonus checks on your personal enrollees. So let me give you an example. Say you enrolled me and I have a $10,000 a month check. Well, a lot of these companies will do like a 10% check match. So that means in this example, you'd be getting $1,000 a month off my check. Okay, now for example, let's just say that my $10,000 check in these companies, I had $300,000 in volume in my group. Our company is not going to be giving a check match based on my personal check. Our company is going to give us a check match based on the volume in my group. So it's going to be something like 3%. So for example, instead of getting $1,000 check, you're going to be getting how much is 3% of $300,000?
A lot.
$9,000 bucks. You're going to get $8,000 more for the exact same work because they're going to be paying us on the volume of the business I brought to the table. Guys, they're going to do something else too that's absolutely, to me, an incredible first too. And that's, what if I go, you know what, I don't want to build this anymore. My friend John started this new company and I'm going to go help, so I quit my auto ship. Let's just use that as an example because, guys, that stuff happens all the time. Well, what our company's going to do is they're going to reach down in my group to the first person that's qualified, and they're going to let me count the volume in that group and my first person in my group, even though I'm not qualified, and they're still going to give you your check, so you still have your 3 legs. So what this company did is they built the company a one-to-one, and they put in all of these issues that are usually breakage issues to make companies more money, because the goal of Peter Castleman is not so he gets richer, because he's already a multimillionaire. The goal and the underlying score that Peter wants to leave is his legacy company. It's the last one he's building too. He wants to change 100 years of bad food. And so the reason he did this comp plan is to pay people to tell the story, to change people's eating, to make them healthier, so he can leave his mark on the world. Okay, what he doesn't want to do is have people storing extra products or buying a bunch of stuff just so they can get a paycheck. They want you to get a paycheck for what your family needs, and they were clever by adding some of the foods with it, that you can use it with your everyday grocery that you might be buying at your local Whole Foods or your organic market, or maybe you're buying stuff from your local farmer, whatever it might be. You can actually add to what you're buying or do. So that's why this comp plan is so incredible. It allows the normal person to go straight to the top, or allows the business builder to be at the top right where they like to be. So those are the things that I really, really love about this company.
Just so everybody knows, Madison and I talk like every day, but I just had the privilege of meeting Sean through one phone call a few days ago. And I hope everybody hears the genuineness in both of these leaders' voices and knows that one of the things that has impressed me, I mean, first of all, Jack and I are very honored that we even get to be a part of this reveal event in Salt Lake City on November 15th. And something that really impressed us was I asked Madison when she chose me as one of her 3 people that she gets to invite if I could bring Jack. And she said, you know, let me reach out to the company and find out, and I'll get back to you. And she left a message on my phone, and I told Jack, he was like, we both could tell, oh, this was a call she did not look forward to making, because guess what? Unlike so many other companies out there, they actually didn't make an exception to the rule. They didn't play favorites. They said, no, everybody gets 3 people to invite, and we're sticking with those 3 people, and that does not include their spouse. And Jack, he was like, that actually impresses me. It means a lot that this company doesn't play favorites, and they don't change the rules of the game depending on the person involved. So I think that that's a great beginning. And,
can I add one thing to that?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I have to tell you, just because I was with Madison and she did get invited, and she's my upline too. so thank God she invited me. But guys, I didn't get to be a founder either. They did go to open South Korea and Japan and start the original startup of those corporations to put the company there. I was the only distributor because of my past work history that was actually invited to go with them. And so I actually had to earn my way to the top too. So I was excited about that.
To me, these are green lights and confirmation that my gut is telling me that on the 15th, it'll just be more confirmation. I'll be just as excited and elated and ready to rock and roll as Madison is after meeting Peter Castleman and Thomas McLemore and Jason Domingo and Gene Tips and all these people involved with the company. So ultimately, the call tonight was to introduce the leaders. I hope you guys got a feeling for the kind of team that we are defining and creating here. But I've learned how, because I live in such a small town, how to leverage the tools of the internet to help market and help create leads and build a really secure team, even though maybe I've never met a single person in person. So using webinars, Google Hangouts, Skype calls, and things like that I've built internationally. And then we have Sean, who's traveling to international markets. I mean, I just think it's like this beautiful mix, and everybody brings a different facet, a different gift. We're really honored. I'm excited. I can't wait for the reveal event, because then we can have an official Google Hangout that will be sending everybody an invite to that Google Hangout where we will be presenting everything that we've found out at the reveal event on the 16th of November. And Sean, I think is that going to be the official, like everybody will have access to a back office and start being able to place people and build their team?
That is our understanding, that the day after the event is the day that it'll be live. Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Sean and Madison, for being founding members of this new food company. I can't wait to meet you on the 15th. Thank you so much for inviting me. I know that each founding member only had the opportunity to invite 3 key leaders. So this is a very small event that we are going to build a huge foundation on. So be sure to subscribe below so that you get a personal invitation to our live Google Hangout the morning of November 16th, so that we can reveal everything we learn about the company, the marketing material, the product,